Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm really happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Mark. It's great to have you with us again. Today we're going to spend some time simply listening to English and having a relaxed conversation.
That's right. This is a little different from some of our usual episodes. We're not going to focus on one grammar rule or study a long list of vocabulary.
Instead, we're going to have a natural conversation about everyday life, so you can relax, listen, and enjoy the English.
And if you're using this episode to practice your listening, remember that you don't need to understand every single word.
Exactly. Sometimes you may hear a word you don't know. That's okay. Try to understand the meaning from the conversation and keep listening.
You can also listen to this episode more than once. The first time, just listen. The second time, you may notice words and expressions that you missed before.
And if you want, you can even repeat some of our sentences. That can help you become more comfortable with natural English.
So, Mark, let's start with something simple. Let's talk about our daily lives.
Good idea. And maybe we can start with the beginning of the day.
The morning?
Yes, I think mornings are interesting because everyone has a different routine.
That's true. Some people wake up early and immediately start working, while other people need a little time before they feel ready for the day.
I'm definitely one of those people who need some time.
Really? I thought you were a morning person.
I try to look like one, but I'm not sure I really am.
So what happens when your alarm goes off?
Usually I open my eyes, look at the clock, and think, I have 5 more minutes.
And you actually get up after 5 minutes?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Okay, maybe not always.
I knew it.
But I'm getting better. I used to set my alarm for 7 and then stay in bed until 7:30.
That sounds familiar. I think many people do that.
The problem is that those extra minutes don't always make me feel better. Sometimes they just make me feel rushed.
Exactly. When I stay in bed too long, I have to do everything quickly. I get dressed quickly, eat quickly, and sometimes I even drink my coffee too quickly.
And nobody should have to drink coffee quickly.
Especially me.
I know how important your morning coffee is.
It really is. I like having a quiet moment before the day becomes busy.
What do you usually do after you wake up?
First, I open the curtains. I like having natural light in the room.
That's a nice way to start the day.
Then I drink a glass of water and make my bed.
You make your bed every morning?
Almost every morning.
I'm not as organized as you.
I'm not sure I'm organized. I just like coming back to a clean room at the end of the day.
That makes sense.
What about you? What's the first thing you do?
Honestly, I check my phone.
Oh, Mark.
I know. It's not a great habit.
What do you check?
Usually my messages, the weather, and sometimes the news.
And how long does that take?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Really?
Okay, sometimes 20 minutes.
That's exactly the problem. You tell yourself you're going to check your phone for 5 minutes, and suddenly you've been looking at it for half an hour.
You're absolutely right. There's always something interesting to look at.
That's why I try not to check social media in the morning.
Does it work?
Most days.
Most days?
I'm still human, Mark.
Fair enough. I think the important thing is not to try to become perfect. Just try to make small improvements.
I agree. Actually, I've been trying to build a better morning routine recently.
What have you changed?
I started preparing some things the night before.
Like what?
I choose my clothes, prepare my bag, and sometimes I even decide what I'm going to have for breakfast.
That sounds simple, but it probably saves a lot of time.
It does. In the morning, I don't have to stand in front of my closet thinking, what am I going to wear?
I know that feeling. And I don't have to open the refrigerator and stare at everything for 5 minutes.
I definitely do that. You don't know what you want for breakfast? Sometimes I know exactly what I want. Other times I open the refrigerator and suddenly nothing looks good.
So what's your usual breakfast?
It depends. If I have enough time, I like eggs and toast.
Simple and good.
Yes, sometimes I have yogurt and fruit, and if I'm really busy, I just have a banana and some coffee.
I'm similar. I usually have eggs or oatmeal.
Do you cook in the morning?
Sometimes, but I don't like making a complicated breakfast when I'm in a hurry.
Neither do I. I want something easy.
I think that's one reason people like routines. When you have a routine, you don't have to make too many decisions.
That's a very good point.
You already know what you're going to do.
And that can make the morning feel less stressful.
Exactly. But I think there's another important part of having a good morning.
What's that?
Not rushing.
I completely agree.
When you wake up late, the whole morning feels different.
Yes, you start the day feeling like you're already behind.
And then you spend the rest of the morning trying to catch up.
That happens to me when I have somewhere important to go. Do you usually arrive early or late? I try to arrive early.
Try?
Okay, I usually arrive early.
That's better. What about you? I like to arrive early, but sometimes I underestimate how long things will take.
What do you mean?
I might think it only takes 20 minutes to get there, but then I forget about traffic, finding parking, or stopping to get something.
And suddenly, 20 minutes becomes 40 minutes.
Exactly.
I think that happens because we often plan for the perfect situation.
That's true. We think everything will go smoothly.
But real life doesn't always work that way.
No. Sometimes the bus is late, sometimes there's traffic, and sometimes you simply can't find your keys.
Losing your keys in the morning is the worst.
Especially when you're already late.
You start looking everywhere.
Under the table, in your bag, on the kitchen counter.
And then you discover that you've been holding them the whole time.
That has happened to me.
More than once?
I'm not answering that question.
Fair enough.
But talking about mornings makes me think about how different our days can be.
Definitely. Some days are calm and some days are extremely busy.
And after the morning, we usually have work, school, or other responsibilities.
Yes, and that's where managing our time becomes important.
I've had some very busy days recently.
What makes a day busy for you?
Usually too many things happening at the same time. I might have work to finish, messages to answer, something to organize, and several other small tasks.
That can be stressful.
It can. Sometimes I look at everything I need to do, and I don't know where to start.
I've felt that way too. What do you do when you have too many things to do? I make a short list.
A short list?
Yes, I choose the most important things and focus on them one at a time.
That sounds much better than trying to do everything at once.
It is, and I've learned that being busy doesn't always mean being productive.
That's true.
Sometimes you can spend hours doing small things and still not finish the one important thing you needed to do.
I know exactly what you mean.
So maybe our morning routine is more important than we think.
It gives us a chance to start the day in a calm way.
And once we start the day well, it becomes a little easier to deal with everything else.
Work, study, responsibilities, and all the unexpected things that come up.
Exactly. And speaking of work and busy days, I think we should talk about what happens after the morning.
I agree. Let's talk about work, study, and how we try to stay productive during the day.
That sounds good. And I have a feeling we're going to discover that neither of us is as productive as we think we are.
I'm already worried about this conversation.
You should be.
All right, let's continue.
So, Mark, let's continue where we left off. We were talking about busy days and trying to manage our time.
Yes, and I have to admit, managing my time is something I'm still working on.
I think most people are. There always seems to be something else to do.
Exactly. Sometimes I make a plan in the morning, and by lunchtime, the whole plan is changed.
What usually changes it?
Someone sends me a message, I get an unexpected task, or I remember something I forgot to do.
That happens all the time.
And sometimes the problem is not even other people. Sometimes I'm the problem.
How?
I get distracted.
By what?
My phone, mostly.
Again?
I know, we've already talked about my phone.
Apparently, your phone is an important part of your life.
Unfortunately, yes. I can sit down to work, open my computer, and tell myself, okay, I'm going to focus for the next hour.
And then?
10 minutes later, I'm checking a message.
That sounds very familiar.
Then I check another message, maybe read something online, and suddenly I've lost 20 minutes.
I think everyone has experienced that.
The strange thing is that when you're distracted, 20 minutes feels like 5 minutes.
That's so true. But when you're doing something difficult, 5 minutes can feel like 20.
Especially when you're studying something you don't really enjoy.
Exactly. Do you find it easy to concentrate when you study?
It depends on what I'm studying. If I'm interested in the topic, I can focus for a long time.
And if you're not interested?
Then I suddenly become very interested in cleaning my desk.
That's funny.
I'm serious. Suddenly everything needs to be organized.
So you use cleaning as an excuse.
Maybe.
I do something similar. When I have a difficult task, I suddenly think of 10 other things that I need to do.
Why do you think we do that?
Maybe because difficult tasks make us uncomfortable.
I think that's part of it. Sometimes we avoid something because we're worried that it will be difficult or that we won't do it well.
Yes, and then we keep putting it off. There's a useful expression for that, to put something off.
Right. It means to delay doing something.
Exactly. For example, I keep putting off cleaning my room.
Or I keep putting off studying for my English test.
That's a very common problem.
Especially when the test is next week.
And then suddenly it's tomorrow.
And you think, why didn't I start earlier?
We've all been there.
Definitely.
I think one thing that helps me is starting with a small part of the task.
What do you mean?
Let's say I have a long report to write. Instead of thinking, I have to finish this whole report, I tell myself, I'll just work on the first paragraph.
That makes it feel easier.
Yes, once I start, I usually continue.
That's a good strategy.
Sometimes starting is the hardest part.
I completely agree. You can spend 20 minutes thinking about doing something when you could have started and finished it in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
I've also started using short breaks when I work.
How long do you work before taking a break?
Usually around 45 minutes.
And then you take a break?
Yes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
What do you do during the break?
I stand up, walk around, drink some water, and try not to look at my phone.
That last part is important.
Very important.
Because if you start scrolling through social media during your break, your 5-minute break can become 30 minutes.
Exactly. I learned that the hard way.
So what do you do instead?
Sometimes I look out the window, sometimes I make tea.
Tea is always a good idea.
You really like tea and coffee, don't you?
I do, but I've been trying to drink more water too.
That's a good habit.
It sounds simple, but I often forget to drink enough water when I'm busy.
Same here. When I'm focused on work, I can sit for hours without thinking about it.
That's another reason breaks are useful.
Yes, a break gives you a chance to move around and reset your mind.
I like that word, reset.
It's a useful word. When you reset, you take a moment to start again with a fresh mind.
So after your break, do you feel more focused?
Usually, yes. I often come back with more energy.
I think that's because we're not machines. We can't concentrate perfectly for 8 hours without stopping.
Absolutely.
And I think this is especially important for people who study English.
Why?
Because learning a language takes time. You can't expect yourself to study grammar, vocabulary, listening, and speaking for hours without getting tired.
That's true. Sometimes 20 minutes of focused practice is better than 2 hours of distracted study.
Exactly.
And I think listening is a good example. You can listen to English while walking or doing something simple.
Yes, you don't always need to sit at a desk with a notebook.
You can listen while cooking.
Or while cleaning.
Or while traveling on a bus.
Or while taking a walk.
That's one reason I like podcasts. You can practice English almost anywhere.
And you can listen to the same conversation more than once.
Yes, the first time you might understand the general idea.
The second time, you may notice more vocabulary.
And the third time, you may understand much more easily.
That's why we always tell our listeners not to worry if they don't understand everything the first time.
Exactly. Listening is a skill, and skills improve with practice.
And practice doesn't have to be stressful.
That's an important point.
Sometimes people think learning English has to feel like hard work all the time.
But it can also be enjoyable.
Definitely. You can watch something you like, listen to music, listen to podcasts, or have conversations with people.
The important thing is to keep English around you.
Yes, the more often you hear English, the more familiar it becomes.
And eventually, you start recognizing expressions without thinking about them.
Exactly. At first, you might hear a phrase and think, what does that mean? But after hearing it several times, you begin to understand it naturally.
That's a really satisfying feeling.
It is. I remember when I first started learning another language, there were phrases I didn't understand at all.
And then?
After hearing them again and again, suddenly they made sense.
That moment is great.
It makes you realize that you're actually improving.
Speaking of improvement, I think people sometimes expect progress to happen very quickly.
Yes, they study for a few days and think, why am I not fluent yet? Exactly.
But language learning doesn't work that way.
No, it's more like building a habit.
A little practice every day can make a big difference over time.
Even 10 or 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
And that brings us back to productivity. You don't always need a huge amount of free time.
You just need to use the time you have well.
Exactly. For example, if you have a busy day, but you have 15 minutes while you're having breakfast, you can listen to English.
Or if you're walking somewhere, you can listen.
Or if you're waiting for a bus.
Those small moments can add up.
They really can. But there's another thing I think is important when you have a busy day.
What's that?
Knowing when to stop.
That's difficult for me.
Why?
Sometimes I feel guilty when I'm not working.
I understand that.
I think I should be doing something useful.
But resting is useful too.
I know that in theory.
You need time to relax, eat properly, talk to friends, and enjoy your life.
That's true. If you work all day and never rest, you eventually become exhausted.
And when you're exhausted, you don't work well anyway.
Exactly.
So maybe productivity is not about working all the time.
Maybe it's about finding a good balance.
Work when you need to work, study when you need to study, and rest when you need to rest.
I like that.
Me too.
And after a busy day, there's one thing I always look forward to.
Dinner?
Definitely dinner.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, food is an important part of life.
I agree. And maybe we should talk about food next.
Now you're speaking my language.
All right, let's talk about what we like to eat, cooking at home, eating out, and some of our favorite meals.
That sounds much more relaxing than talking about productivity.
I agree.
Especially if we can talk about dessert.
We'll see about that.
I'm ready.
Then let's continue. All right, Mark. You were definitely interested when I mentioned dinner.
I was. I think food is one of the easiest things to talk about because everyone has something they like.
That's true. And people can have very different tastes.
Definitely. So, Melissa, what's your favorite kind of food?
That's a difficult question.
Why?
Because I like many different kinds of food. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably say Italian food.
Italian food?
Yes, I love pasta, pizza, and fresh bread.
I knew you were going to say pizza.
Why?
Because whenever we talk about food, you somehow mention pizza.
That's not true.
It happened last week.
Okay, maybe it happens a little too often.
What kind of pizza do you like?
I usually like simple pizza, maybe cheese, tomatoes, mushrooms, and some fresh vegetables.
No meat?
Sometimes. It depends on my mood.
I like pizza with more toppings.
Like what?
Chicken, onions, peppers, mushrooms, maybe some olives.
That's a lot.
I like a lot of flavor.
I prefer something simple.
What about cooking? Do you enjoy cooking at home?
Yes, I do. I'm not an amazing cook, but I enjoy it.
What do you usually cook?
I make simple meals during the week. Rice, vegetables, chicken, pasta, things like that.
Do you follow recipes?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
I usually look at a recipe first, but then I change it.
That sounds dangerous,
Why?
because you might end up creating something completely different.
That's part of the fun.
Have you ever cooked something that was terrible?
Unfortunately, yes.
What happened?
I was trying to make a new pasta dish. I added too much salt.
How much is too much?
Enough that I couldn't eat it.
That's very salty.
It was awful.
What did you do?
I ordered food.
Good solution.
Sometimes you have to know when to give up.
I agree.
What about you? Do you enjoy cooking?
I do, but I'm better at eating.
That's not the same skill.
I know, but I'm very experienced.
What can you cook?
I can make eggs, pasta, rice, sandwiches, and a few other things.
That's not bad.
I also make a really good breakfast.
What kind?
Eggs, toast, tomatoes, and sometimes potatoes.
That actually sounds good.
See? I told you I could cook.
I said it sounds good. I haven't tasted it yet.
You're very careful with your compliments.
Someone has to be.
Do you prefer eating at home or eating at a restaurant?
It depends on the situation.
Same here.
If I'm tired after a long day, I like eating at home.
Because you don't have to go anywhere?
Exactly. I can put on comfortable clothes, make something simple, and relax.
That sounds nice.
But if I'm celebrating something or meeting friends, I enjoy going to a restaurant.
I agree. There's something special about eating out.
Yes, you don't have to cook and you can try something different.
And someone else does the dishes.
That's probably your favorite part.
Absolutely.
What kind of restaurants do you like?
I like casual restaurants.
What do you mean by casual?
Places where you can relax. I don't need a very fancy restaurant every time I go out.
I feel the same way. Sometimes a small restaurant with simple food is much better.
Exactly. The atmosphere can make a big difference too.
Definitely. Have you ever been to a restaurant where the food was good but the atmosphere was terrible?
Yes.
What was wrong?
It was extremely noisy. I could hardly hear the person sitting across from me.
That can ruin the experience.
It really can. If I'm eating with someone, I want to be able to talk.
Me too. I think that's one reason people enjoy restaurants. It's not only about the food.
It's also about spending time with people.
Exactly.
Speaking of spending time with people, do you usually eat with your family?
When possible, yes.
Do you think family meals are important?
Very important. Even if the meal is simple, sitting together and talking can be really nice.
I agree. When I was younger, my family tried to eat dinner together.
Did you enjoy it?
I didn't always appreciate it at the time.
That's normal.
But now I realize how valuable those moments were.
Sometimes we don't appreciate simple things until later.
Exactly.
What did your family usually eat?
It depended on the day. We had rice, vegetables, meat, soup, and sometimes something special at the weekend.
Did you have a favorite meal?
Definitely. My favorite was my mother's chicken and rice.
Was it a special recipe?
Not really. It was actually quite simple.
Then why did you like it so much?
I think because she made it.
That makes sense.
Food can remind you of people and places.
That's very true. Sometimes you smell something and suddenly remember a moment from your childhood.
Exactly. Smell is surprisingly powerful.
Is there a food that reminds you of your childhood?
Yes, fresh bread.
Fresh bread?
Yes, when I was a child, there was a bakery near our home.
That sounds nice.
Every morning you could smell the bread from outside.
I love that.
Sometimes I would walk past the bakery and ask my parents if we could buy some.
Did they usually say yes?
Not always.
So you had to wait?
Yes, unfortunately.
That probably made the bread taste even better when you finally got it.
Maybe.
Food memories are interesting.
They really are.
And now that we're talking about food, I'm getting hungry.
Me too.
We probably shouldn't have started this topic.
I disagree. This was a very good idea.
What are you thinking about eating now?
Honestly, something sweet.
Of course.
You mentioned dessert earlier.
I did.
So what's your favorite dessert?
Chocolate cake.
Really?
Yes, especially when it's warm.
I like ice cream.
What flavor?
Chocolate.
You're very predictable.
Chocolate is a classic.
Fair enough.
Do you eat dessert often?
Not every day, but I think it's okay to enjoy something sweet sometimes.
I agree. Food shouldn't always be about being perfect.
Exactly. Balance is important.
You can eat healthy food most of the time and still enjoy your favorite foods.
That's how I see it too.
And sometimes cooking at home makes it easier to have that balance.
Yes, because you know what ingredients you're using.
And you can choose how much of everything to add.
Plus, cooking can be relaxing.
When it goes well.
True.
If you burn the food, it's not quite as relaxing.
Especially if the smoke alarm starts making noise.
That has happened to you too?
Maybe once.
Only once?
We're not going to talk about that.
All right.
But I think cooking is also a great way to learn about different cultures.
Definitely. You can learn a lot about a country by learning what people eat.
And when you travel, trying local food can be one of the best parts of the experience.
Absolutely. I love trying food that I've never had before.
Even when you don't know what it is?
Especially then.
You're more adventurous than me.
Maybe, but sometimes the best experiences happen when you try something new.
That's true.
And actually, talking about trying new things makes me think about another topic.
Let me guess.
Travel.
You're right.
We've talked about our daily routines, work, studying, and food. Now let's imagine we have a few days off.
And we can go anywhere we want.
Exactly.
Where would you go?
I have a few ideas.
Only a few?
Okay, maybe 20.
Then let's hear them.
Well, I'd love to visit a place I've never been before.
That sounds like a good start.
And I'd want good food, interesting places, beautiful views, and enough time to relax.
So basically, you want everything.
Exactly.
Well, I have a destination in mind too.
Where?
Somewhere I've always wanted to visit.
Now you have to tell me.
All right, let's talk about travel. All right, Mark. If we could take a few days off and travel anywhere, where would you go?
I think I would choose Italy.
Italy?
Yes, I've always wanted to visit Italy.
What makes you want to go there?
So many things. The food, the history, the architecture, the small streets, and the atmosphere.
You mentioned food first.
Of course.
I'm not surprised.
Imagine eating fresh pasta in a small restaurant in Italy,
That does sound amazing.
and then walking around the city afterward.
Which city would you visit first?
Probably Rome,
Why Rome?
because there's so much history there. I'd love to see the Colosseum and walk around the old parts of the city.
I think Rome would be fascinating. What about you? Where would you go? I'd love to visit Japan.
Japan? That's a very different choice.
I know, but that's one of the reasons I want to go.
What interests you about Japan?
The culture, the food, the cities, and the natural scenery. I've seen pictures of the mountains and temples, and they look beautiful.
Would you rather visit a big city or a quiet place?
Both. I'd like to spend a few days in a busy city and then go somewhere quieter.
That sounds like a good plan.
I think so. I like cities because there's always something happening, but I also need time to relax.
I understand that. When I travel, I don't want every minute of the day to be planned.
Me neither. Some people make a schedule for everything.
Breakfast at 8, museum at 9, lunch at 12, another museum at 1.
Exactly.
That sounds exhausting.
I prefer having a general plan and then leaving some free time.
Same here. Maybe choose 2 or 3 important things and see what happens with the rest of the day.
That gives you more freedom. And sometimes the best experiences are unexpected.
Definitely. You might find a beautiful street that wasn't in your plan.
Or a small cafe?
Or a local market.
Exactly. Have you ever had a trip where something unexpected happened?
Yes, once I was traveling with a friend and we got completely lost.
Completely lost?
Yes, we were looking for a particular place, but we took the wrong street.
Did you have a map?
We had our phones, but the internet connection wasn't very good.
That makes things difficult.
It did. At first, we were worried because we thought we were going to waste a lot of time.
What happened?
We asked someone for directions.
Were they able to help?
Yes, and actually, we discovered a beautiful part of the city that we probably wouldn't have seen otherwise.
So getting lost turned into a good experience.
Exactly.
That's a nice travel story.
It taught me not to panic when things don't go according to plan.
That's an important lesson, not only for travel.
Definitely. Travel can teach you a lot about being flexible.
Yes, you have to be prepared for things to change.
Flights can be delayed.
Hotels can look different from the pictures.
Your luggage can take a different flight.
Please don't say that. Have you ever lost your luggage?
No, thankfully.
Me neither, but I always worry about it. What do you put in your carry-on bag?
The important things.
Such as?
My passport, phone, wallet, charger, and some basic clothes.
Good idea. I also keep some medicine and a toothbrush in my carry-on.
That's smart. If your suitcase disappears for a day, at least you have the essentials.
Exactly. What do you enjoy most about airports?
Honestly,
Yes?
leaving them.
That's not very positive.
I like traveling. I don't always like airports.
Why?
They can be crowded and confusing.
Especially when you're in a hurry.
Yes, you have to find your check-in counter, go through security, find your gate, and then wait.
But I actually like watching people at airports.
Why?
Everyone is going somewhere different. Some people are traveling for work, some are going on vacation, and some are visiting family.
That's true.
I sometimes imagine where they're going and why.
That's interesting.
It makes the airport feel like a place full of stories.
I like that idea.
And when you finally get on the plane, there's that feeling that the trip has really started.
Yes, I love that feeling.
Do you like flying?
I'm okay with it.
Just okay?
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
What do you do during a flight?
I usually listen to music, watch a movie, or sleep.
Can you sleep easily on a plane?
Sometimes.
I can't.
Why not?
I never feel completely comfortable,
Ever on a long flight?
especially on a long flight.
Then what do you do?
I usually watch something or listen to a podcast.
That sounds familiar.
Sometimes I look out the window.
Do you like looking at the clouds?
Yes, I think it's beautiful.
I agree. Seeing the world from above is amazing.
It really is.
And then you arrive at a completely different place.
That's one of my favorite things about traveling.
The feeling of arriving?
Yes, you walk out of the airport and everything feels new.
New streets, new sounds, new people.
New food.
You always come back to food.
I can't help it.
Fair enough.
But I also love hearing different languages.
Me too. Even if you don't understand them, it's interesting to hear how they sound.
And sometimes you learn a few simple words.
Like hello, thank you, please, and goodbye.
Those are always useful.
I think trying to speak a little of the local language is a good way to show respect.
I agree. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, people usually appreciate the effort.
Yes, you don't have to speak perfectly.
That's true for English, too.
Exactly.
I think many English learners are afraid of making mistakes when they speak.
They are.
But if you travel, you quickly realize that communication doesn't have to be perfect.
You just need to make yourself understood.
Exactly. You can use simple words, gestures, and expressions.
And if you make a mistake, you can try again.
That's an important lesson for language learners.
Don't wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking.
Because you may be waiting forever.
Exactly.
Speaking of travel, I think one of the best parts is meeting new people.
Definitely.
Have you ever made a friend while traveling?
Yes, I met someone on a trip a few years ago.
How did you meet?
We were staying at the same hotel and we started talking at breakfast.
That's nice.
We discovered that we had similar interests, so we decided to explore the city together.
Did you stay in contact afterward?
Yes, for a while. We still send messages sometimes.
That's one of the great things about travel. You can meet someone from another part of the world and suddenly have something in common.
Exactly.
It reminds you that people can be very different, but also very similar.
I agree.
We all want to have good experiences, spend time with people we care about, and enjoy our lives.
That's very true.
So, Mark, if you could take a 1-month vacation tomorrow, what would you do?
1 month?
Yes.
I would probably visit several countries.
Which ones?
I'd start in Italy, then maybe go to Spain, France, and Greece.
That sounds amazing.
I'd take my time and not rush.
And eat a lot.
Obviously.
I think I'd choose one country and really explore it.
That's interesting. Why only one?
Because I'd rather understand one place deeply than quickly visit 5 places.
So you prefer slow travel.
I think so.
I like that idea.
You can spend time in local neighborhoods, try different foods, talk to people, and learn how people live.
It sounds more relaxing, too.
Exactly.
And after traveling, you usually need some time to recover.
Especially after a long flight.
Yes, but even when you're tired, you usually come home with a lot of memories.
And maybe a few hundred photos.
A few hundred?
Okay, maybe 1,000.
That sounds more realistic.
Travel gives us stories to tell.
And sometimes those stories are funny.
Sometimes embarrassing.
Sometimes both.
But those are often the stories we remember best.
I agree.
And you know what? After talking about travel for so long, I suddenly feel like taking a trip.
Me too.
But unfortunately, we have to come back to real life.
Yes, we still have work to do.
And we still need to talk about something else.
What's next?
Our free time.
Hobbies?
Exactly. What we do when we're not working or studying.
Now that's a topic I can talk about for a long time.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Well, everyone needs a little time to enjoy themselves.
Absolutely. So let's talk about hobbies, weekends, and the things we do when we finally have some free time.
So, Mark, if we finally have some free time, what do you usually like to do?
It depends on how tired I am.
That's fair.
If I've had a really busy week, I like doing something quiet. I might watch a movie, listen to music, or just stay home.
And if you're not tired?
Then I like going outside. I might meet a friend, go for a walk, or explore somewhere I haven't been before.
I'm similar. I think weekends are important because they give us a chance to slow down.
Yes, during the week, everything can feel rushed.
You wake up, work or study, answer messages, finish tasks, and suddenly it's evening.
And you wonder where the whole day went.
Exactly.
That's why I try not to fill every weekend with plans.
I agree. Sometimes doing nothing is exactly what you need.
Do you like staying home on weekends?
Sometimes I enjoy having a slow morning, making breakfast, and listening to something while I clean.
You actually enjoy cleaning?
I didn't say I enjoy cleaning.
You said you listen while you clean.
That's different.
Fair enough.
Cleaning is much better when you have something interesting to listen to.
I agree with that.
What about movies? Do you watch many movies?
I do, but I usually prefer watching a series.
Why?
Because you can follow the characters for a longer time.
That's true. You become interested in their lives.
Exactly. And then you want to watch the next episode.
Which can be dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Because you tell yourself, just one more episode.
And suddenly it's 2 in the morning.
Have you ever done that?
More than once.
Me too.
What kind of movies do you like?
I like movies that make me think, but I also love simple comedies.
Comedies are great when you want to relax.
Exactly. Sometimes you don't want a complicated story. You just want to laugh.
I understand that.
What's the last movie you really enjoyed?
I watched a movie recently about a person who decided to change their life completely.
That sounds interesting.
It was. The character was tired of doing the same thing every day, so they decided to travel and try new experiences.
That sounds like a good story.
It was. It also made me think about my own life.
How?
Sometimes we get comfortable with our routines.
And there's nothing wrong with routines.
No, but sometimes we need to try something new.
I agree. Do you like trying new things?
Yes, although I'm sometimes nervous at first.
What kind of things make you nervous? Anything where I don't know what to expect.
Like what?
Going somewhere alone for the first time, meeting a large group of new people, or trying an activity I've never done before.
That's understandable.
But usually, once I start, I enjoy it.
That happens to me too. The hardest part is often saying yes.
Exactly.
Once you say yes, you realize it's not as scary as you imagined.
And sometimes you discover a new hobby.
Do you have any hobbies that you've had for a long time?
I enjoy reading.
What do you like to read?
A little bit of everything. I like stories, biographies, and books about personal development.
Do you read every day?
I try to.
How much?
Maybe 20 or 30 minutes.
That's a good habit.
I think so. Reading helps me relax, and I also learn new things.
I used to read more than I do now.
Why did you stop?
I became too busy.
That sounds familiar.
But recently I've started reading again before bed.
That's a good time to read.
Yes, it helps me stay away from my phone.
That's another benefit.
I've noticed that when I spend too much time looking at a screen before bed, my mind stays active.
I know what you mean, but when I read a few pages, I feel calmer.
Do you prefer physical books or digital books?
Physical books.
Really?
Yes, I like holding a book and turning the pages.
I understand. There's something nice about a physical book. What about you?
I like both. Digital books are convenient because I can carry many books with me.
That's true.
But when I really want to relax, I prefer a physical book.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. What other hobbies do you have?
I like walking.
Just walking?
Yes, I know it sounds simple, but I really enjoy it.
Where do you walk?
Usually in a park or around my neighborhood.
Do you listen to anything while you walk?
Sometimes music, sometimes podcasts, and sometimes nothing.
Nothing?
Yes, sometimes I just want to hear what's happening around me.
That can be nice. It gives me time to think.
I like that. Walking can be a good way to clear your mind.
Exactly. If I'm worried about something, I often feel better after a walk.
Do you walk every day?
I try to, but I'm not always successful.
At least you try.
Yes, I think that's important.
You don't have to do something perfectly to benefit from it.
That's true.
I also like listening to music when I have free time.
What kind of music do you listen to?
It depends on my mood.
Give me an example.
If I'm working, I might listen to calm music.
And when you're exercising?
Something with more energy.
What about when you're feeling sad?
That's complicated.
Why?
Sometimes I want quiet music. Other times I want something that makes me feel happier.
Music can really change your mood.
It can. Have you ever heard a song that immediately reminded you of a particular time in your life?
Many times.
Me too. Sometimes I hear an old song and suddenly remember where I was when I first heard it.
Isn't it strange how music can bring back memories?
It really is. I think that's one of the reasons people love music so much.
Definitely.
What about exercise? Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy how I feel after exercising.
That's not the same thing.
I know.
So you don't enjoy the exercise itself?
Some types of exercise are fun. Others feel like work.
What do you like?
Walking, cycling, and sometimes going to the gym.
I like walking too. I also enjoy simple workouts at home.
The important thing is finding something you actually enjoy.
Exactly. If you hate an activity, it's difficult to make it a regular habit.
That's why some people start exercising and stop after 2 weeks.
They choose something that's too difficult.
Or they expect immediate results.
That happens a lot.
I think the same thing happens when people learn English.
How so?
They study for a week and expect to suddenly speak perfectly.
But improvement takes time.
Exactly.
You have to give yourself permission to make mistakes,
And you have to keep practicing,
even when you don't feel like you're improving.
especially then.
Because sometimes you're improving without noticing it.
That's true. You may not notice a difference from one day to the next,
But after a few months, you realize you can understand much more,
or speak more easily.
or recognize expressions that used to sound strange.
That's one of the best feelings when learning a language.
Absolutely.
And I think hobbies can help with that too.
How?
If you enjoy something, you can use English while doing it.
For example, watching cooking videos in English,
Or watching movies in English.
reading books in English,
Listening to podcasts.
talking to other English learners.
Exactly. You can combine English with something you already enjoy.
That makes learning feel less like studying.
And more like living your life.
I really like that idea.
Me too.
So, Mark, if you suddenly had an entire weekend with absolutely nothing to do, what would you do?
I'd probably sleep a little longer, have a nice breakfast, go for a walk, watch a movie, and meet a friend.
That sounds like a perfect weekend.
What about you?
I'd do something similar, but I'd probably add a little reading.
And coffee.
Obviously.
Of course.
I think the best weekends are not necessarily the most exciting ones.
What do you mean?
Sometimes a simple weekend can be the best. Good food, a good conversation, a walk, a little music, and enough time to relax.
I agree.
We don't always need to do something special.
Sometimes we just need to slow down.
Exactly.
And after a relaxing weekend, we can think about what comes next.
You mean Monday?
Unfortunately, yes.
I was hoping you wouldn't mention Monday.
Sorry.
But actually, Monday isn't always a bad thing.
True. A new week can also be a fresh start.
And that reminds me of something we haven't talked about yet.
Our goals?
Exactly.
What we want to improve, what we want to achieve, and what we hope to do in the future.
I think that's a great way to finish our conversation.
Then let's talk about our goals and plans for the future.
So, Mark, let's talk about the future. What's one thing you really want to do in the next few years?
There are actually several things I'd like to do.
Tell me one.
I'd like to travel more.
I'm not surprised.
I know, we've talked about travel for a long time today.
But traveling is a good goal.
Definitely. I'd like to visit places I've never seen before and experience different cultures.
Is there a specific place you want to visit next?
I'd really like to visit Japan.
You mentioned Japan earlier.
Yes, it keeps coming back to my mind.
What would you do there?
I'd explore the cities, visit some traditional places, try the food, and hopefully spend some time in the countryside.
That sounds amazing. What about you? Do you have a big goal for the next few years? One of my biggest goals is to keep learning.
Learning what?
Many things. I want to improve my English, learn new skills, read more books, and become better at the things I already do.
That's a good goal because there's always something new to learn.
Exactly. I don't think learning should stop when you finish school.
I agree. In fact, I think some of the most interesting learning happens after school
Why do you think that?
because you can choose what you want to learn.
That's true.
When you're in school, someone else usually decides what you study.
But later you can say, I'm interested in this, so I'm going to learn more about it.
Exactly.
And that makes learning more enjoyable.
Definitely.
What skill would you like to learn?
I'd like to improve my cooking.
We're back to food again.
I'm serious.
What would you like to learn to cook?
More difficult dishes. I can make simple meals, but I'd like to become more confident in the kitchen.
That's a useful skill.
Yes, I think being able to cook well is something everyone can benefit from.
I agree. And it can save money, too.
That's another reason.
I'd also like to learn another language someday.
Which language?
I'm not sure yet.
Maybe Spanish?
Maybe. It's a beautiful language.
And it's spoken in many countries.
Exactly.
But learning another language takes a lot of time.
It does.
That's why I think consistency is more important than studying for many hours once in a while.
I completely agree.
It's better to practice a little every day.
Even 15 minutes.
Yes, 15 minutes every day is more useful than 3 hours once a month.
That's especially true with languages.
Because you need regular contact with the language.
You need to hear it, read it, speak it, and use it.
Exactly.
And you have to be patient.
Patience is probably one of the most important parts of learning anything.
I agree.
We often compare ourselves with other people.
That can be a problem.
You might see someone who speaks English very well and think, I'll never speak like that.
But you don't know how long they've been learning.
Or how much they've practiced.
Exactly.
Everyone has a different starting point.
And everyone learns at a different speed.
That's why it's better to compare yourself with your past self.
I really like that idea.
Ask yourself, am I better than I was 6 months ago?
Instead of asking, am I as good as this other person?
Exactly.
Maybe 6 months ago, you could understand only simple conversations.
And now you can understand most of a podcast,
That's real progress.
even if you're not fluent yet.
Progress doesn't have to be dramatic.
Sometimes small improvements are the most important ones.
I think that's true in many areas of life.
Yes, health, work, relationships, learning, everything.
Small habits can become big results over time.
That reminds me of something my friend once told me.
What did they say?
Don't worry about changing your whole life tomorrow. Just make tomorrow a little better than today.
I like that.
Me too.
It sounds simple, but sometimes simple advice is the most useful.
Exactly.
So, Mark, what is one small thing you want to improve this month?
I want to spend less time on my phone.
That's a good one.
I knew you'd say that.
You mentioned your phone several times today.
I think it's becoming a theme.
Maybe you should make it your biggest goal.
I probably should.
How are you going to do it?
I'm going to turn off unnecessary notifications.
Good idea.
And I'm going to keep my phone away from me when I'm working.
That can make a big difference.
I also want to stop looking at my phone right before bed.
That's a difficult one.
I know.
But you could replace it with something else.
Like reading.
Exactly.
You're right. If I simply remove the phone without replacing the habit, I'll probably reach for it again.
That's why replacing a bad habit with a better one can be useful.
So instead of checking social media, I could read 10 pages.
That sounds like a good plan. What about you? What small change do you want to make?
I want to spend more time outside.
You already like walking.
Yes, but I don't do it as often as I'd like.
How often would you like to walk?
Maybe 30 minutes every day.
That sounds realistic. I think so. I don't want to make a huge goal that I can't maintain.
That's important.
A goal should challenge you, but it should also be realistic.
Exactly.
If you make your goal impossible, you may become frustrated.
And then you give up.
Right.
I think people sometimes focus too much on motivation.
What do you mean?
They wait until they feel motivated before they start.
But motivation comes and goes.
Exactly. Some days you feel excited. Other days you don't.
That's when habits become important.
Yes, if something becomes part of your routine, you don't have to think about it as much.
You just do it.
Exactly.
That's one reason routines are so powerful.
We started this conversation talking about morning routines.
And now we're talking about future goals.
Funny how the conversation connects.
I like that.
Me too.
I think our routines today can influence the person we become in the future.
That's a good point.
If you spend a little time learning every day, you become more knowledgeable.
If you exercise regularly, you become healthier.
If you practice speaking English, you become more comfortable speaking.
And if you spend time with people you care about, your relationships can become stronger.
Exactly.
So maybe the future isn't something that suddenly happens.
Maybe we build it through small choices every day.
I like that.
Me too.
And I think that's a good message for anyone listening to us right now.
Especially if you're learning English.
Don't worry about becoming fluent tomorrow.
Just keep listening.
Keep learning.
Keep speaking.
And don't be afraid of mistakes.
Mistakes are part of learning.
And every time you understand something you didn't understand before, that's progress.
Even if the progress feels small.
Exactly.
So, if you've been listening to us for a long time today, we want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you for spending this time with us.
We hope you enjoyed the conversation and, more importantly, that you got some useful English listening practice.
And remember, you don't have to understand every word.
Listen for the general meaning first.
Then listen again and notice the expressions you missed.
You can even pause the episode and repeat some of our sentences.
That's a great way to practice speaking and pronunciation.
And if you're listening while doing something else, that's okay too.
You can listen while walking, cooking, cleaning, or relaxing.
The important thing is to keep English around you.
The more you listen, the more familiar English becomes.
And little by little, understanding English can become easier and more natural.
So, Melissa, after talking for all this time, what have you learned today?
I've learned that you really like food,
That's true.
and that you need to spend less time on your phone,
Also true?
and that you want to travel to Japan.
Definitely.
What about you? What did you learn?
I learned that you love coffee, pizza, books, walking, and traveling.
That sounds accurate.
And I also learned that we both believe small habits can make a big difference.
I think that's the most important thing we talked about today.
I agree.
You don't have to change everything at once.
Start with one small thing.
Practice a little,
Keep going,
and give yourself time.
because progress takes time.
And now, I think we've reached the end of our 40-minute listening practice.
That went by quickly.
It really did.
I hope everyone listening enjoyed spending this time with us.
And I hope you'll come back and listen again.
You can listen to this episode again and see how much more you understand the second time.
And if you're ready, try repeating some of the sentences with us.
Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking.
Thanks again for joining us on English Chat Flow.
We're really happy you spent this time with us.
Take care, keep learning, and have a wonderful day.
See you in the next episode.